You have payroll jobs still coming in strong, even though there's an argument that they may be a bit overstated, but still, they're strong.
A bit overstated? What are they, nuts? Are you kidding? What a week this has been. So I'm doing a little special report here to talk about the labor market and what happened in the stock market. So to sort this thing out, right now it's like trying to get your arms around jelly, both the labor market and the stock market. Let's begin with the labor market. Are you kidding me? They deducted, get this, from the 272,000 May jobs, the number of multiple job holders. And when they did that, the actual number of employed plunged 408,000. Now, that's how we got the 4% unemployment increase, the highest in 2 years. But here's what's really interesting. What they did, and they admitted, they used the birth-death metric system to put in a fake 232,000 of their 272,000 jobs. That's right. They birthed them, made them up. Last year, remember, they birthed nearly 450,000 jobs using the birth-death metric system. Now, the market continues to rally, making a 27 all-time new high year-to-date. Now, that's a little bit more than 5 months, including in the last 3 days. Each day made another new all-time high, 3 days in a row. Even without the promised 7 rate cuts. Remember, rate cuts. That's what's been driving the market, promise of rate cuts. They promised 7 rate cuts this year to move the market up. Now, I'm not talking about the 5 or 4 largest big cap tech stocks that their market caps between $1 trillion and $3 trillion. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about just the regular stocks. So they've been using this rate cut to push the market up. And you can see in the last few days how the Dow 30, every morning you open up the market opens, the Dow's down. Have you noticed that? Well, that's because there's no rate cuts. There's none. Oh, one. So that's disappointing all the small businesses, other than the big cap, $1 trillion guys. That's why you're seeing the Dow 30 down every day for the last, 2-3 days. That's what's going on. Now, we're hearing that we're going to have, unlike in 1999 to 2001, remember that, the dot-com crash? Well, we're hearing now from the Fake Business News Network, oh, don't worry, we're not going to have another crash like that, because it's really different this time. Much different. Because of the AI addiction that investors have. There's such an addiction to these AI stocks, and we have such an AI craze. What they're telling us is because of that, like the banks, they're too big to fail now. Because you take the mega stocks, the AI stocks, you take Nvidia has a cap of $3 trillion. And the other stocks, as you know, Apple and the rest of them, Meta and the rest of them, over $1 trillion. So they're saying, God, when they have their earnings every quarter, they're blowouts. Their earnings are so huge. They've never seen it before, this huge. That's why it's different this time, because their earnings are so big. They're immune from pandemics, debt, deficits, inflation, stagflation, inverted yield curves, massive increase in money supply. They're immune. Nvidia is what makes the difference, they're saying, this time. Really a big difference this time. Now, Nvidia has been leading the entire market. Nvidia itself is up 50,000% since 2009, 200% over the last 12 months. You follow behind that with Microsoft, Meta, and Google. What, are you nuts? They're saying, my God, you put those 3 stocks with Nvidia, we're really different this time. This market's never going to come down again. But it's not different this time. I hate to break the bad news. And I know you're going to look at me like a Salem witch, bringing in the real news that we are going to have a market crash. Oh, I know. Everybody say, boy, he's been so wrong about market crash. We'll see. What's been keeping this market alive is the promise of rate cuts. Look what they did this week. When they promised 7 rate cuts, and I'm not worried about the big guys, the big tech stocks. I talk about the Dow 30 stocks. They need rate cuts. When they didn't get the 7 cuts, now they're only going to get one. What'd they do? They immediately said, oh, but don't worry. You're going to get 4 rate cuts in 2025. You're going to get 4 rate cuts 2025, hoping to push the Dow 30 up. Didn't work, did it? The S&P 100, which contains a handful of the biggest tech companies, including Nvidia, let's break it out. They're up 17%. So take the S&P 100, let's take Nvidia, let's take the handful of the tech stocks that are in there, the big boys. They're up 17% through June 7th. Wait a minute. How are we doing with the Russell, the small mid-cap stocks, the backbone of the nation? They're only up 1.5%. And here's what you need to remember. Since 1957, eventually, the S&P will always end up trading where where IWM is. Let me repeat. Since 1957, wherever your small mid-cap stock is, symbol IWM, no matter where the S&P, it could be way up here, it could be up 40,000, 80 billion, it will come right back down eventually to the small mid-cap stock. Always meets up with the small mid-cap stocks. That hasn't changed one time since 1957. So for those who say, oh, it's really different this time, it's not. It's not. Now, I know you don't like to hear that. I get that. I really do. You hate to hear the market's going to go down. But we have now, not only do we have, are they giving us from the fake job numbers, they're giving such a false sense of security in the stock market. And that's why, again, my gang members, for 20 years now, we always follow the money. That's all you can follow is the money. That's where the truth is. My thousands of subscribers over 20 years always follow the money. If you follow the money, whether you're going long or short, you will always be making money consistently. But you also got to be prepared for when that day comes and the market stops going up, that you can make money on the way down. The worst thing is to be so myopic that the market's never going to come down and you're not going to be prepared for that day when the market does crash. That's when people really get hurt. But not my members, not my subscribers. Click the link in my bio for free 10-day trial.